FedEx full, we commanding the block. Burgundy and gold, got the city on lock. Hustling plays, ain't no need to pretend. DC reppin' strong and we fight to the end. Commanders moving, no breaks, no pause. Hands in the dirt, respecting the call. K-Dot in the mid, dissect the grind. District divider with a city in mind. Trying to dance why, don't miss a bit. And you gotta spread the words, or shit is shit. K-Dot.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided, a DC sports podcast. More specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Amit. That is K-Dot. This episode, we go over the 53-man roster that the team officially put out, what we like about it, what we don't like about it, what's to come. We touch on Terry McLaurin's contract. Now all the details are out, including the incentives, the guaranteed money, what to expect from it. We touch on that. And then it's predictions time. It is the predictions episode. We go through every single division in the NFL, rank the teams 1 through 4, go through our playoffs as well. Here's what's going to happen. This team beats this team makes it to the Super Bowl, and all our awards at the end of the season as well. So before we begin this episode, if you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and K-Dot.
As you guys know, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. Although if you watched last week's episode, I stumbled 4 times in the first 3 minutes, and no one caught it because we're
Hobby did. We'll get to that in the comment mail.
Oh, really? Okay. Share it. Share this. I'll put some sound effects in here at some point, but you know what to do. You guys at home, you listen to this, say it out loud for me. Let me hear you. Let me hear you say it. Share this. Yeah, see, love that. Call and response. Great job, everybody. Share the gospel. Share this art. Do yourselves and the people around you a favor. Just share it.
Share the gospel is not a bad pivot as well, by the way. And so with that, we go ahead
the
and
Christian family will probably not love that.
Sure, fair enough. We'll workshop it. Let's go ahead and talk about this 53-man roster, K-Dot. So once again, the team Tuesday, 4 p.m., they had some decisions to make. They made those decisions. They added people to the practice squad as well. This is going to be less about the practice squad and much more about the 53 men that are going to be representing the Washington Commanders this coming season. K-Dot maybe does want to talk about the practice squad. But K-Dot, beginning with the 53, what are your thoughts on it? What do you like about it? Anything you don't like about it? Go ahead.
I don't like the word top heavy, but that has nothing to do with who did or didn't make the 53-man roster. I think certain things look a little glaring. So wide receiver, whether they bring it there, Kendrick Bourne, I think, is already in the building.
He's supposed to be there on Tuesday. It's a long time from now. Yeah.
They know that there's probably other people that can be named to that list in between then and now. So that is, did I curse already? Did I do it already? God. All right. I'm trying.
It's progress. It's progress.
Yeah, no, we're working on it. We're working on it, man. The only thing that continues to glare out to me is the fact that we can clearly see when you look at the roster how top heavy it is and how we lack depth in certain aspects of things. But that was something that's been prevalent the entire preseason. Nothing shocking. I mean, I think that everybody was kind of looking for, there were some rumors that started going Luke McCaffrey might be somebody that gets cut. Look out for that name, or there was none of that nonsense. So pretty straightforward. No glaring thing. I think that we all knew that Sam Hartman played himself out of a 53-man roster. But you saw me. We're not talking about practice squad. So okay.
No, go ahead. You can even play the music if you'd like to.
I mean, that's all I wanted to do was just.
Back of the practice
That's
squad.
What I care about.
All right, so Sam Hartman makes the practice squad. Shout out his relationship with Jaden. And then the 53-man roster. I mean, let's be real. Keep it a buck there. This had to be the easiest set of cuts. Sorry to say it, but just based on the preseason, I saw some people on Twitter, and I agreed with them, saying 53. Why stop there? We can go down to 50. We can go down to 45. It was a tough preseason. It was a tough preseason from a depth perspective. K-Dot, you just mentioned it. We're top heavy. That being said, seeing the 53, I am pleased with it. I do like the people that are on it. Shout out Ale Kaho for making it. Each time I saw him in a one-on-one situation, I loved it. He's very aggressive to the ball, heat-seeking missile over there. And good form when tackling, like a lot of solo tackling. To me, that's so important. And so it's nice to be able to have a guy undrafted come over, make the team. That's always a good story. We carry 4 tight ends once again. Ben Sinnott did not do a whole lot to gap, like we've been talking about this whole time,
Right.
over Colson Yankoff, who now switches to number 80. And then the wide receivers, I think a lot of people, myself included, were like, there's no reason to keep a 6th one. Not with all these different wide receivers that are being released as well.
Right.
We can easily, based on preseason, keep someone on the practice squad. No one's getting claimed. We can look at them and also explore our options outside of that. So the 5 wide receivers made total sense. I'm very happy to see Marcus Mariota back as well. Just as a quick note there. Looks like he's getting healthier and healthier. Should be good to go come week 1. Josh Johnson making the team fine. I don't think he was overly impressive, but he's 39. He's a 3rd-string quarterback. I don't know what more you want from a 3rd-string quarterback. If you're already there, your season's cooked. So I'm good with what I see over there. But shout out Ale Kaho in particular, who is somebody I'm excited made the team over here at K-Dot.
Yeah, I went back after the draft, and we were talking about the undrafted free agent. I'm glad I made it a point to try to say his name and make it seem tell everybody like that was somebody to work out for because of that Ken Norton connection. The Ken Norton came Madrona. I think people are truly underrating the combination of those 3 people and what's going to happen as far as that room goes. Look, man, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a bean. Okay. When I see certain names, I start thinking about that Samoan, Polynesian. I think about like the All Blacks. There's a motor that I'm all into, okay? And like when I hear that like they got Ken Norton got the battery in their back, and they're in a room with Bobby Wagner teaching them, and now Von Miller's there too. Like, yeah, give me that. Give me that. Like, I need some Troy Polamalu of the linebacker variety.
Yeah. It's beautiful. One question I did have now, switching to the secondary, is that Diana Rossini reported that we were exploring options when it came to Noah Igbenogany.
As they should.
Your thoughts on that? I have some strong thoughts on it, but why don't you go ahead?
I think Noah has done an incredible job here in Washington so far, to the point where like he is one of the strong people that I look at as far as like what the team is. But if you look at Noah, they've tried him out on the outside some aspects of the preseason because we've known he's best in that slot situation, which is where he was when Mike Sanders still was playing on the outside. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of made his bones like there and like, okay, that's a legit, like if he had to start games in the slot, got thumbs up from me. Good for me. But there's other like Jonathan Jones. Like that's not a name that we talk about a lot, but it's a dude that can play in the league and plays at a high level, and that's an outside guy. And you talk about the outside guy along the sides, like we know Trey Amos is going to play. We know Marshawn Lattimore is going to play. And then you got Mikey Sanders still there at the slot. You have depth, and we like depth, but you're also in a situation where in Washington, you are also trying to build as you know you don't necessarily have a lot of depth. So if you have a bit of a wealth of riches here in this particular department, it would take not a significant amount of bad luck, but a good amount of bad luck to put you in a situation where if you feel good about the cornerback room, that you'd feel bad about it if injuries or something were to happen at this point. The corner right now seems to be one of those places where if we're looking at depth on the team, it's not great compared to like the league standards, but it is damn good compared to what it is that we have going on here.
Yeah. And so when I saw this report, K-Dot, I immediately was like, no, do not trade him. Because the very first thing my mind jumped to, and I tweeted on the District Divided account, follow us at District Divided, was the AFC Championship game, not from this past season, but last year prior, came to mind. The Baltimore Ravens are this unbelievable team on offense, spearheaded by MVP Lamar Jackson, and the defense is also playing at an unbelievable level. They are top to bottom the best team in the NFL entering that game against Kansas City. Now, Kansas City has an excellent coaching staff, maybe the best, right? And they have Patrick Mahomes, the best, right? And what they did was they targeted Baltimore Ravens cornerback number 5, Arthur Millette, over and over and over and over. And all of a sudden, this amazing Ravens team was rattled. And all of a sudden, the game flipped on its head immediately. And it's because they found a weak spot. For me, I don't think it makes sense to be able to trade someone like this because he's reliable. He's good in case somebody gets hurt. And I don't see any reason to trade him for a future asset right now. Now, the Dallas Cowboys feel differently about much, higher profile players, but which we'll get into with the predictions. But I believe we should keep Noah Igbinoghene because as you get deeper into January, that's when your depth gets tested, and he's a very, very big piece of that for me. So I would be very disappointed if we ended up trading him. Any reaction to that, or can I move to the next question?
I gotta say, if it wasn't for the fact that I know how you treat women, I'd say your loyalty shows you make a great partner, man. Like, there is a level of like, okay, I seriously. I think the entire time that I was hearing that, my question is, who's the mullet on our team? I think his name was Emmanuel Forbes, and he's gone. But like the
apparently doing quite well in LA,
right? But like my whole thing with that is that the Emmanuel Forbes piece of it, in the sense of. Hang on. I think my audio just kind of went away on
it was
speakers.
Good. Okay.
No, I can't hear you, but it's I'll be back. I'm just gonna rattle off and say things at this point. I think the standpoint here is that there's nobody that I see on the roster right now at the cornerback position that would be in a situation in which, even if they were to get attacked like that I would ever swap them out or bench it. If Trey Amos got aimed at like that and he was giving up stuff, I'm not going to pull the Ron Rivera, Emmanuel Forbes. Hey, we're going to bench you now.
Correct.
And we're going to put you back out there. No, son, go out there and make it work. If it's Marshawn Lattimore, trust me, Twitter's going to be on fire because of what it is that contract looks like, but he ain't pulling them. Same thing with Jonathan Jones. And at this point, even a Mikey Sanders still. You're a vet now, son. Like, you've got to be able to handle this stuff. You got a guy like Arthur Millette in Baltimore who, I think if I were to pull half of that city, how many do you think are going to know who that is, even after seeing the game last time, right? So, like, sure. It's just one of those things where, like, I get what you're saying. Depth is a good thing to have, but I think that the careful balance of this team is, like, weighing the expectations of what this season actually is supposed to be or supposed to look like with what it is you need to do as far as continuing to build towards the future. There are tough choices like this, but it's like, if you see that you have this particular situation where you might have a little more depth, to lean into some other things to make things a little bit better. Sometimes you just got to make, okay, well, it's a strength right now. Let's make it a little weaker to make other things stronger, and then we can continue to build. It's that it's a razor's edge, man.
Balance. Yeah, certainly. It's the balance.
100%. I still can't hear you, but keep going, brother.
Okay, perfect. So then while KDOT's figuring that out, what I was going to bring to everybody's attention is Matt Gay, kicker for us. Highest guaranteed money on a 1-year deal in NFL history. And the question with him, to me, is quite simple. You obviously trust him to begin with, but how long do you trust him for? How long is it going to take of inconsistent kicking until you go, hey, we need to bring in competition right now? So that's somebody to definitely look out for is Matt Gay, because once again, as you get deeper and deeper into the season, it's incredibly important that you have a strong kicking game just in case you need it. I don't think we should need it too much, honestly, but we'll see. He's already in a very interesting situation, being as shaky as he has been during the preseason. So we'll get KDOT's thoughts once he can hear me once again. But all right, still down. So, in the meanwhile, I will go ahead and talk about the Terry McLaurin contract situation. So we saw that it was 3 years, $96 million, up to $96 million, right? And so initially people are going, oh my gosh, Buddy Baker did it, right? $30 million signing bonus as well. Buddy Baker crushed this. And then you wait a couple days and you go, okay, when are those guaranteed figures coming out? Not just the signing bonus. I want to know about the other guaranteed figures. What's going to happen with those? It got interesting on Wednesday, and this was just before Adam Peters ended up speaking. So what this actually is closer to a 2-year, depending on how you view the numbers, $50 million to around $55 million deal. And I want to go through the cap real quick with you guys because this gets interesting. So this coming year, it's a $17.5 million cap hit. And then the next year, it's an $18.35 million cap hit. And the dead cap is enormous with Terry McLaurin. So you're not going to cut him. After that, it flips. So in 2027, $34 million cap hit, but the dead cap's only 18. So what that says to me is this is a 2-year deal. We could cut him after that. Or if he's playing well and up to his contract, you can restructure with him. I suspect Terry will continue to play well, and we will look to restructure to lower that cap hit. He'll get some more guaranteed money, and we'll continue cruising with him on the team. That's certainly the hope for everybody. But the reveal of the contract was awfully interesting because it's not what people think it is. So I just wanted to highlight that.
It's exactly what everybody should have thought it was.
Well, no, of course, but like I'm talking about maybe the more casual fan not knowing that they're going to see 3 years, 96, just like a lot of these deals are, right? Worth up to. This is why the guarantees are very, very important. So get out your reaction.
I think it's what needed to have happen, right? I think early on, even in the process, are you hearing me okay?
Yes, perfectly.
All right, so no headphones this time. All right, I guess. I think that even earlier on in the process, I was saying that I thought that there was a chance that they could tie this a lot to the incentive-based part of it, but I was wondering whether or not that was part of that level of disrespect that Terry said that he was feeling. So, like, the idea that, like, hey, I've proven enough. Why do I need to have these steps in order to make my money, right? Like, I thought that might be part of it that almost kept taking it. But that was back there after the Easter Murders thing where I was searching for why do you feel disrespected? I thought maybe that was something. I still think that, like, knowing, at least from Terry and knowing anybody, just knowing anyone, you don't want to necessarily have those steps in order to get your money. So I'm sure he's not happy about it. But that's all part of the compromise. And the deal got done. And, of course, when it all got said and done, there had to be language or stuff in those contracts that was going to make both sides a little unhappy. That's how you get to this point. I'm still curious about exactly what the friction points at the very beginning were.
Yeah. No, and by the way, I think this works for both parties, right? Because the way it worked for Terry, at least in my estimation, based on hearing him and based on how he views himself, is that 30 number was very important. Said that ad nauseum, right? He got it. He technically got it, right? And then the team goes, okay, we'll give you that, but the guaranteed money, you're going to have to prove it to us, right? Because we're worried about the age, but you think you're that dude. Okay, we'll let you earn it. And this was so funny. K-Dot, I'm guessing, do you have committed to memory Terry's regular season numbers?
Hell no.
Okay, cool. I'll do it for you. 82 catches, 1,096 yards, 13 touchdowns. The incentives, 83 catches, 1,097 yards. This is a petty negotiation. Okay, it is like, all right, get me one extra catch, one extra yard. It's all yours, buddy. You get $300K per if you do that, and then 10 receiving touchdowns, $300K per each hit of those, and those double if you make the playoffs. So Terry's like, sounds good. I believe in me. That should be no problem. We're going to go ahead and see. And I'm sure Adam Peters like, throw it to Debo. But we're going to go ahead and see.
I know I missed a portion when I was dealing with the whole audio.
Yeah, you're good.
Can't wait to go back to hear what you had to say.
That was just a lot of rambling. a lot of drowning.
I can make eye contact with you. He's like, save me. But
I'm not prepared for that.
No, you don't need saving, son. You're great at this. You're better than I am. Do you think he hits him?
Yes.
I don't think
No. Hang on. So I was thinking about that. Yes, I do. The reason I do think so is because it's year 2 with Jaden versus year 1. And there was a lot of figuring out, I think, pretty early on. And now in year 2 of the system, I think he's able to hit them. Not all of them, but he definitely hits some of them. I think the receiving touchdowns he actually hits. I know that tends to go up and down, up and down. I think he hits that. And I think he ends up hitting the catches. Not sure about the yards.
I'm just wondering how many more yards you think Jaden's throwing for this year.
Yeah, I know. We'll get to it in the predictions. Any other thoughts here on Terry McLaurin's glorified 2-year deal, which, if all goes well, this is going to be a restructure, just a heads up, entering that 2027 season. And if all does not go well, he's going to get cut. Like, that's just what it looks like. Okay. Because the team saves $16 million if they get out at that time. So that is why it's a win for the team, but it's also a win for Terry because he believes he's going to ball out. I think he's going to ball out, and he'll be able to restructure from there to lower the cap hit, make some more money. So,
and that's what it boils down to. There was no sort of personal animus or anything in this that I could see. This is all about, hey, you are about to be 30 years old and we don't want to do it. So if you think you're Billy Badass, then let's put the language in the contract, prove it. I think this is, to me, hearing the more stuff about the numbers and everything just goes back, solidifies the fact that I've had, and Adam Peters I trust, which, looking at this language and everything, I know that he is chiefly thinking about the long-term investment of this team, which is what I want to know as far as the leadership standpoint goes. And then beyond those things, I also want to know that Terry McLaurin's playing for us. Like, that's it. Like, as long as both those things are true, then I feel like I hit the lottery going into the season, because we all know the team's better with him on it. We all know we want to see that smile and not him pouting, right? And we also want to know that Adam Peters is not going off the sentiment or anything else on what it is that he needs to do as far as this organization and this team. I love seeing the through line of all those things happening simultaneously. It's amazing.
Yep. And with that, we go over to the meat of this episode. Once again, it's the predictions episode. It's one of our favorite episodes to do, where we go through each and every division along with the playoffs and the awards. We bring that to you guys, and we would love to hear what your predictions are in the comments. Also, and we have a loaded comment mailbag coming up shortly as well. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to go through the AFC first. We're going to go through the AFC East, the North, the South, the West, rank the teams 1 through 4, including their seed if they make the playoffs. And then we're going through the AFC playoffs. Who's going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl? Then we flip to the NFC and do the exact same thing. Then we go through the awards. All righty. K-Dot, are you ready, sir?
AFC East edition.
AFC East.
So, and if anybody's trying to figure out how it is, I figured out it's just how they finished. Was it last year?
Yeah.
I thought it was the best way to go about it. And I don't have them finishing in the same order this year. Now, do you want records? Are we doing the record thing, or does that get messy because of what happens with that predictive tool that we're using?
You can if you really want to.
I'm down to do it. I think we should hold each other accountable to the most. To me, this year is the year of accountability. Trust me, I don't want to choose this year because my stock in JJ McCarthy, but I still think this year should be the year of accountability. Come for us in the comments.
You know what? You're right. You're right. We owe the audience honesty, and this is going to get very interesting. So with that, go ahead.
All right. East. My AFC East winner. Are we doing top down or bottom? It doesn't matter.
Either one's fine.
I got the Buffalo Bills at 13-3.
Okay. Did you miss a game again? You did this last year.
Of course I did. The whatever, man. So say 14-3. 14-3 for those guys. I got them winning division. Number 2, I've got the New England Patriots. How did I miss? You know what? I think it's their game that I missed.
Does it flip?
I'm looking at the number. Everything else counts up to 17. It's just them 2.
Okay.
So, 14-3 Buffalo, 12-5 New England.
12-5 New England.
Trust me, the more and more
I love that, baby.
I know you do love that. I've got the Miami Dolphins at 7-10, and then your lowly New York Jets at 4-13. That's the only one I'm not feeling entirely secure about. It's just I don't trust Justin Fields other than being a very good fantasy option.
Fair enough. So I will go with the Buffalo Bills in first place with 14 wins. I have them 14-3. I have in second place the New England Patriots, my side piece team with fewer wins than K-Dot at 11-6. Then I have a essential tie for last place between the Dolphins and the Jets with 4 wins each. I think I just don't. The vibes in Miami are horrible.
They're terrible.
I think that's not going to translate well. I think I can easily see a midseason firing. I can see them getting after each other via media. Like, it's just not pretty right now. Yeah. They could end up getting to the 7 wins, like K-Dot said, but man, I do not feel good about them. And the Jets, just a lot of work to do, a lot of uncertainty. I'm rooting for Aaron Glenn, but yeah, that's what I see over there. So the Bills are my 2 seed. Patriots are my 6 seed.
Oh, I'm sorry. As far as the Bills are my 1st seed, the Patriots are my 5th seed.
Okay. Bills are your first seed. Okay. Now we go over to the AFC North.
The North. I feel better that I can feel confident about saying the numbers now since they worked out. All right. Your number 3 seed in the AFC is your Baltimore Ravens at 12-5.
Okay.
I have missing the playoffs. Your Cincinnati Bengals at 9-8. I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers at 8-9, and I've got the Cleveland Browns at 5-12.
Okay. And for me, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Initially, I did this 16 wins, and I was like, bit high. Then I reviewed the schedule. I knocked off 1 win. So I've got them at 15-2 as the 1 seed. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers with 12 wins as the 5 seed. Yeah. Cincinnati Bengals out of the playoffs with 8 wins at 8-9. Cleveland Browns 2 wins. 2 wins. Man. Just not seeing it over there. So
harshness to it. To me, the Ravens are in that situation where, because I think of how high, like you even said it in like the last, they are like top to bottom at one point during the season. Like you could say arguably they were the best team in the league. Like I would listen to that argument through a good significant portion of that season, even when knowing about the Philadelphia Eagles. Like I think that there was an understand, and I think mainly it was that Jalen Hurts versus Lamar Jackson piece, and you know who everybody's picking in that situation, right?
Right.
Except for Coach Lombard. And then Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, what is that, a wash? Like, it's like you start getting some of the nitty-gritty. So, like, I like that Baltimore team, but I just think year in and year out, I think they've been pretty fortunate in some aspects as far as the injury bug the last, 2 years, and I don't think that that's necessarily been the case for them historically, as much as they've been able to kind of just muster up because of Lamar Jackson being God. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it'll look as easy as it did last year going into this year. And I do think there's going to be a little more division shenanigans than typically for the AFC North.
I do agree with that. So the way I view Baltimore this year is the first half of their season, last season, defense was bad. They were figuring it out. You look at the final half, they look really, really good. Back to their identity. I expect them to be excellent defensively, which is where a lot of this is coming from. And I think, call me a sucker. I've been bitten so many times on this. I think Lamar's on a mission again. And I think this time, I also think the way he ended the Buffalo Bills game was good for the Demons a little bit, where he, Mark Andrews dropped that shit. Like, he did lead them back. They were his mistakes in the first half, but he turned it around in the second half. So I am a bit of a believer there. What seeds do you have or just the Ravens making it here?
Ravens 3rd seed, but we're not going to skip out of here before we get an explanation on where are you with Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Right. So the way that it was working out for me is that I don't think that they're actually asking Aaron to do a whole lot. I view Mike Tomlin as just this incredible coach that is able to get winning seasons over and over again. I do worry about the mobility. I'm not going to lie, but it's year 2 off of the Achilles, which I do think is much, much better than year 1. There are no expectations on Pittsburgh right now. So I think
is the offense run through Jalen Warren. Is that what we're doing?
I think it's going to be a few more dump offs than people want, but it's just, you don't need to win a high scoring game. And I think they'll be able to grind out regular season results. So that's where I'm at with them. All right, let's go to the AFC South, Kate.
Do we have to?
You got a fun one here. Go ahead.
Your 4th seed in the AFC South, because someone has to be. Is the I got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 9-8.
Okay.
I've got your Houston Texans at 7-10. I've got the Tennessee Titans also at 7-10. And I've got the Indianapolis Colts and whatever it is that they're doing there at 3-14.
Ooh, okay. So not viewing the Colts very nicely.
Who's playing quarterback?
Daniel Jones, Giants legend. Daniel Jones.
I don't trust him, man. I don't trust that team at all going into the season.
Totally fair. So over here, I have worst to first. Tennessee Titans. I'm a big believer in Cam Ward. 10 wins, 10-7. They start very slow. I told you. I texted you. I was like, I don't feel comfortable with what's happening right now. Okay. But they were tough to play last year. Will Levis was chucking the ball as his knees were falling. I think Cam Ward is
All right.
going to change things for the Tennessee Titans. They are tied with the Houston Texans at 10 wins, but they have the tiebreaker over them. Houston's my 7 seed. And then the third place team is, I need to switch this. Sorry. Jacksonville Jaguars at 8 and 9. And I agree with you. The Indianapolis Colts, I got 6 wins instead of 3. But I think when you're getting to those bottom of the barrel teams, some will have more than others. And that's just sort of what it is.
I hate this division.
So you got 3 playoff teams coming out of the AFC West as we transition there.
Yeah, these I'm pretty high on all these teams. And this is where it gets into some trouble for me, but I'll try to explain the unexplainable by the end of this.
Go for it.
Your number 2 seed in the AFC, your Denver Broncos.
You've got to be fucking kidding me. Are you serious?
At 13-4. I've got the number 6 seed in the AFC, the Los Angeles Chargers at 11-6. I've got your 7th seed in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs at 10-7. And I have my sleeper side piece team, the Las Vegas Raiders at 8-9, which is still an improvement. I like them, but apparently I do like your Patriots more than I like the Raiders. But here's the big thing in this. When you look through like what it is, I have the Raiders having a better in-division record than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Explain. Just explain.
I think that Kansas City showed, like, as you were saying, they shown some weaknesses over the course of last season. And I do think that when you have, like, look, I think Travis Kelce is going to do everything he can do. I know your boy JD Vance had some comments about the whole Taylor Swift thing. I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but I do think that I don't see it going all sunshine and rainbows for this. I just don't like. The Rashee Rice coming back sort of thing. I get that. It's just, to me, it's like the Mahomes of it all is, as we continue to go through this thing, while I do think Mahomes is like, if I'm looking at like track record in the league, what have you, there's nobody I'm picking above him. If I was going like power rankings, like Hall of Fame chances at quarterback right now, even above Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. Right. But I don't think I do not think he's the best quarterback in the NFL anymore. And he's still
this
up
is a bombshell of a segment. This is incredible.
I know this is the one.
Wow.
Who's
the best quarterback in the NFL right now?
Huh? We'll get there. We'll get there. I just think that everybody has these moments where they got to kind of retool. It happened to Tom Brady. It happened to Tom Brady for a decade, right? So like there is an element of like, I don't have them missing the playoffs. I don't have them having a losing record. I just think it's going to be a little more bumpy than it has been for Kansas City this particular year and I think the biggest part about it is not anything to do with Kansas City. I think it's these other teams in this division are getting better. They're getting a lot better. And the ways in which they're getting better are specifically designed to give Kansas City problems, right? So like that's
They've been trying to do that for years. You're
right. But I think that they are here now. So like like I said, the number 2 seed and your wildest thing, and I hate it because I hate Sean Payton. I really hate Sean Payton.
Wow.
I'm with him. I think he's got a squad.
Okay. Hey, no, first off, props, man. I love it. Right? You know, I'll obviously roast you for it when this is inevitably wrong, but this makes for great content, and I love what you're doing here. This is great for the show.
Look, I'm not one to bet against Patrick Mahomes. It's not
Sounds like you are.
do. And look, when it comes down to the money, you won't see me do that until I'm proven wrong. I will lose money this year, right?
Right.
But when I was looking through all of it, it's just the way I kind of have it shaken out. And the same thing with LA. I think that LA right now, I know right now the sexy thing, especially this offseason, the kind of crap on Justin Herbert. I think everybody's just sort of like they're over the me's and the other nerds that are, well, he makes all the throws, and everybody's just like, shut up. Like we're over this, right? Stop. Like, how dare you? Quite top 5? Are you out of your mind? Like I think the Amarian Hampton of it all. I think the defense not being as hurt as they are usually. And I do believe in Jim Harbaugh, even though I do even see, and I'm hearing that there's pushback as far as even his ability as a coach that I'm hearing now.
Okay.
I just think this is one of those, they're going to shut everybody up and make a move. And I think the big part of it is that Justin Herbert is going to play within the confines of something instead of being asked to do too much. And I think that if they can do that, I think they could string together some quality wins. I don't think they're running roughshod over everybody.
So just behind the curtain for folks, like I have a spreadsheet up above where I'm writing down your picks as well. And as we got to the AFC West, I said, okay, go ahead, put Kansas City 1. And then you said what you did. I erased it. Then I put them 2. Then I erased it and put what you put.
Yeah.
Fascinating set of picks. I got to give it to you. You're a legend if you get this right.
I love this division, man.
I will go ahead and say this. This would be better than me saying Caleb Williams at 4. If you get this, no one is saying. There were still a couple people with me that were like, I just don't see it with Caleb Williams. Kansas City is the 7th seed. It's your throne, baby. So we'll go ahead and see what happens over there. For me, it's very straightforward. Kansas City, 14 wins. They're my 3 seed because the AFC is just stacked with Buffalo, Baltimore. Josh Simmons at left tackle, light show's back on. Now Mahomes has somebody he can trust. He can fling it deep again. And they actually are playing with less pressure. The 3-peat, I think, was very real. And now it's just like, let's just go have some fun. Let's experiment a little bit. 14 wins. LA Chargers, 10 wins. Missing the playoffs, though. In second place. In third place, the Denver Broncos, 9-8. So I feel like I'm respecting them there because I still think that Bo Nix will be found out a bit this season. But hey, they've got a squad, like you said, which is why 9 wins. Your Las Vegas Raiders came out to 3 wins. I think that's incorrect. That's why I told you. I was like, I'm not comfortable with this. I think it's honestly closer to 7 as I'm using my head now. Yeah. I don't see more than 7. It's just such a stacked division to your point. But that's what I have. So recapping real quick. K-Dot, now your playoffs. You have the 1 seed Buffalo Bills. Correct me anywhere I'm incorrect, by the way. The 1 seed Buffalo Bills, the 2 seed Denver Broncos, the 3 seed Baltimore Ravens, the 4 seed Jacksonville Jaguars, the 5 seed New England Patriots, the 6 seed Los Angeles Chargers, the 7 seed Kansas City Chiefs. Is that correct?
That is all correct, with Cincinnati staring right inside at 9-8, but they can't get there.
Okay. And I have the Chargers slightly out. So before we get to mine, let's go ahead and go through your playoffs. Then we'll do mine. And I'll go through my playoffs.
Okay. So AFC playoffs. Hang on. Let me pull it through. We're going to skip to here and then we'll go back.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right. So we're doing the full run up to the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
As far as the AFC. Correct. Mm-hmm. Okay. So in your wild card round, where is it? There we go. In the wild card round, we've got the New England Patriots victorious over the Jacksonville Jaguars, 5th beating the 4th. We've got the Ravens beating the Chargers at home, 3-6. And then we've got the Denver Broncos beating the Kansas City Chiefs at Mile High. Wow.
Okay. So I'm still in shock. All right, cool. So now you have the rested Buffalo Bills taking on
the Baltimore Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens. Is that right? No, the New England Patriots.
There's that reseed. I mean, maybe it's because I missed that game. So.
I don't think it'll make a difference. I think Buffalo, I would assume, wins that game.
Right. Regardless, the 2 outcomes I have are Buffalo and Denver.
Okay. So Buffalo over New England. It would be Denver over Baltimore. Okay. Yeah. With Denver as the home team over there. 1 versus 2, Buffalo, Denver. Who you got?
Buffalo.
All right. Buffalo makes the
Super Bowl. Nix has one of the worst games anybody has ever played in the playoffs.
Would be, by the way, if he even gets that far, incredible. All right. So Buffalo in the Super Bowl on the AFC side. As a reminder for folks, I have the 1 seed Baltimore Ravens, 2 seed Buffalo Bills, 3 seed Kansas City Chiefs, 4 seed Tennessee Titans, 5 seed Pittsburgh Steelers, 6 seed New England Patriots, 7 seed Houston Texans. I've got Buffalo taking out Houston, so that's 2/7. I don't even know if the Patriots are my side piece team anymore. I don't have them going as far as you do. I have the Chiefs beating the New England Patriots as it turns out, this is just you stealing my team from me. over here, and Tennessee over Pittsburgh in the 4-5. So I've got
Tennessee jump, man. I can't.
You have Kansas City as the 7th seed. I don't want to hear it. There's a worst to first almost every year. Okay. And I picked the worst division for it. All right. So anyway.
Totally.
All right, cool. Thank you. Then we have the 1-seeded Baltimore Ravens over the Tennessee Titans. They're out. Then we have Kansas City going to Buffalo. And it's here we go again. Kansas City beats Buffalo. And now it's Baltimore, Kansas City again, a rematch from 2 years ago. This time, Baltimore takes care of business, and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Lamar finally exercising those demons, seeing a Super Bowl. Nice and relaxed over there. So that's the AFC. Let's go over to the NFC.
And we're starting with the NFC East.
We're starting with the NFC East. So K-Dot, over to you with this.
Winning the NFC East and your number 1 seed in the NFC, your Philadelphia Eagles at 14-3.
Okay.
Your number 5 seed, the NFC Playoffs, is the Washington Commanders at 9-8.
All right. 9-8, 5 seed. Wow. Okay.
I've got the Dallas Cowboys finishing at 6-11.
Okay.
And I've got the New York Giants finishing at 5-12.
Okay. Over here, I have as the division winner and 2 seed with 11 wins, Washington Commanders. In second place as the 5th seed with 11 wins, the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think this comes down to a tiebreaker. I just think Philly got a bit younger on defense, and there's a lot of injury luck with us, right? Like, we got to have the same injury luck we had last season. I think Jaden's special enough to be able to pull a couple extra games. So tiebreaker goes to us. That's what that is. Third place, I like the Giants, 6-11. And 4th place, I don't know how you overcome, like, a quick moment on Micah Parsons being traded.
Yeah, good.
2 first-rounders, Kenny Clark. I don't think that was enough for that trade. By the way, no shade to Kenny Clark either. I think he's a very good player. I heard Jerry talk about we need to stop the run. Cool. I think you could find a way to do that with Micah Parsons on your team as well. Absolutely shocking trade. And I think that the locker room right now, devastated. I think that they probably had an idea of like, okay, we're going to make the playoffs and our offense gets hot. Micah makes a couple plays on defense. We can do something.
Yeah.
That's shattered. So I don't see this as a recoverable thing for this year. Good news for them. Their first round pick gets better. 4 wins. Your thoughts?
I was driving down I-5. I was in Portland. I was actually in the city. I was just inside the city limits, and I was in traffic. There was an accident in the left lane. Yeah. And my phone rings. And it's Brendan Nichols. It happened! It happened! Now, he's a giant Packers fan. And as far as the whole not cursing philosophy here, that did not happen in that phone call. I was irate. I hate Jerry Jones with every fiber of my being for doing what it is he did as far as letting that man go to Green Bay, solely from a personal standpoint of I hate Brendan Nichols and the fact that he roots for Green Bay. In every other circumstance when it comes to this situation, you have no idea how happy I am that he screwed this up this much. This was colossally stupid. I don't know what they were doing as far as whose phone calls they were fielding, that this was the offer that you needed to take. Unless he just thinks that Mike is going to hate it in Green Bay and be bored. I don't know why you do this, but it instantly makes Green Bay an absolute Super Bowl contender because they have, in my opinion, the best defender in the league now playing for them. So, like, and he's angry and he's want to prove something, and I don't want to be in the way of that. And I hate that you have teams like Green Bay that sort of Forrest Gump themselves into situations, be it Brett Favre or Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers or any of the other things that they do. Why? Why do they get this? I don't. The gods just bestowed him upon. Who doesn't? I told you time and time again on this pod, I would trade literally every player on this team, on the Commanders roster, not named Jaden Daniels, to the Dallas Cowboys for Parsons. That's how much I think this, how highly I think about this guy. You have a slam dunk lock in all pro for the next decade at one of the chief primary positions in the NFL. Who doesn't give up 2 first rounders and a guy coming off a not as greatest season to someone for him? Are you out of your mind?
He's 26.
Dog, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's absolutely shocking. One thing I heard, I love watching First Things First with Nick, Kevin, Chris Broussard. Nick made a point that I hadn't heard before that I actually think makes sense because I can't explain this, right? Like, you just don't trade Micah Parsons. I don't care about your cap. You just don't trade the guy, right? Like, people come to play with Micah Parsons. People come to play. Like, it's Dallas Cowboys. That no one can be a bigger star than Jerry Jones. And Micah, with his podcast, with his charisma, with his personality, and with his talent, rivaled that. And I do think that a piece of this was that. And as more came out, it sounds like that Jerry is saying that Micah requested a meeting in March to talk about the contract. It was him, it was Stephen Jones, Jerry, all talking about it. Seems like they came to an agreement. Then Micah was like, cool, I'm just going to get David Mulugeta, the agent, shout out him, dude, the Deshaun Watson contract, and now this. And we'll hammer it out. And Jerry was like, no, we had an agreement, which is, it's not how you do things, obviously, but shocking. And I'm very thankful it happened from the NFC East standpoint. It made our life a lot easier with the Dallas Cowboys. They'll still be good. They're still a rival, but and you never know in those games, but wow. Just wow.
Before Brennan called me to tell me the news, he called me earlier to discuss what was happening with the Parsons situation. And he was very adamant that he's like, I don't understand. He can't trade him. And I'm like, brother, there's going to be a point of no return with this situation. I think if Mike is serious, he's gone. And I think it became pretty clear to me the further we went along with this that he was pretty serious. Because I keep bringing up that Cowboys documentary that I'm kind of refusing to watch a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not.
But you've heard the Charles Haley story.
Yes. Glad
it didn't come down to that. But it felt like that might be the road that we have to go down in order for we to get to that particular point. Like, it was just, getting to this situation, him being traded at this point is the only outcome that I saw happening if Michael was serious. And I did think that there was enough. Once again, when I was comparing like the Terry McLaurin to this sort of situation, I'm like, one person should feel disrespected.
Yes.
Like, one person should feel as though with every other weird thing that comes out of Dallas, including whatever that conversation was about penis size that I have still not been explained. As far as what happened with that, no one has given me an explanation.
They traded Micah before telling you that, yeah.
Right, so it's like, what? Maybe that's true. Maybe Charles Haley wasn't packing. I mean, that must have been a problem. But the thing that I can't wrap my head around, the thing of it is like, get beyond Jerry being an idiot, Jerry being a whore for attention. How is that the compensation?
Yeah. It's not enough.
I don't get that part of it. You can mold his contract into anything you want it to be. There's no baggage. Like, what are we doing?
Biggest winner in this trade, though? Nico Harrison. Congratulations. Because that was, wow. We go over to the NFC North, where just talked about it. Micah Parsons there with the Green Bay Packers. The Detroit Lions attempting to repeat as the number 1 seed. Now we know K-Dot's got the Eagles as the number 1 seed, but do they win the division? Bears with Ben Johnson, Vikings with JJ. So K-Dot, over to you.
Don't want to do this. Can we stop? Your number 3 seed in the NFC. Green Bay Packers at 13-4. I do think the Parsons thing has shifted things for me. Okay. Your 7th seed in the NFC at an 8-9 record. The Minnesota Vikings.
You had to do it.
The 8th seed, missing the playoffs. The Detroit Lions at 8-9.
Wow.
And I have the Chicago Bears at 7-10. Look, I will say this. everything that I've seen so far this offseason from Ben Johnson has run counter to all of my beliefs about Ben Johnson. I will admit that. I will say that I've liked what I've seen. The conversation it looks like he's having with Caleb, the way that it seems as though he's treated as far as the coaching staff, the way that he's carrying himself in the media, the way it seems as though his relationships with the players, he has actually stepped up a level that I didn't think he had, and I will admit that I was wrong about that. I still don't love the fact that Caleb's going into his second year, and I also don't love that what I see most from Ben Johnson, as far as like what I see his scheme does not, in my opinion, seem to translate to Caleb Williams particularly. So there's some meshing sort of stuff, but there's no denying going into this second year, Chicago is trying their damnedest to create a situation where they can give Caleb everything. And I think the scary part is that, like, I think you can go into this season with Chicago, and I think that the narrative is going to be there has never been a second-year quarterback with as much tools and things leaped upon him to make him successful. Whereas I still think overall learning a second system in an NFL season with a coaching staff that might not have been the best thing for you is still a deficit to move from. So I am always going to take that consideration with Caleb. It was something I was taking consideration before he even got drafted. It was just the Chicago Bears thing.
You did.
So I want to make sure that everybody understands that's what I'm thinking about as far as the Bears. The Vikings, look, I think Sam Darnold had a particularly incredible season last year, and I don't think, even if Sam Darnold was behind I don't think that's replicated. I think we see a lot more closer to what it is we saw in the playoffs and what it is we saw in the regular season from him going into this year. I think the JJ McCarthy situation is and I didn't help it, where after he got drafted, even though I was high on him, and I said, this is the perfect spot. It's great. It's this, that, and the other. Look, everybody's going to look at what that record was last year and then look at what it is that's happening this year. I want to tell people, go back, look at margin of victories, look at what happened from a health standpoint for those guys, also compared to other teams in the division, Detroit, and what happened there. And defensively, they are not, in my opinion, as strong this year as they were last year. So I think that and Aaron Jones is your lead running back there, and he's a year older with a lot of tread on those tires. So, like, I do think that the situation itself is not necessarily the same one as last year. I do think the team overall is not as good as last year. And that is a lot of pressure as far as a quarterback goes, where you see what it is that just happened. They jettisoned that guy and gave you the keys. It's a lot. I think JJ has it in him to do it, but I also think that if they finish at 8-9 season, the narrative overall is going to be terrible, but I'm going to be happy.
Yeah, 8-9 is a very interesting one for the Vikings. I think a lot of people in the media seem to have a shorter leash on JJ than even I'm willing to give him, and you're willing to give. Like, he was hurt last year. This is his first time starting. I know he had an off season, but it's not the same as when you're totally healthy, just waiting.
Right.
Yeah, I think 8-9 is totally reasonable. I think I'd be curious to hear I got a lot of Vikings friends, what they think if they were to finish 8-9. I think they'd be okay though. Like, because then they would go, so long as JJ looked good,
right,
we're good.
Right.
So don't hate that at all, K-Dot. Over here for me, I have, I need to flip that because of the Micah Parsons trade. So in first place and the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Green Bay Packers at 14-3. In second place, brutal schedule, but I just think they're built like that. The Detroit Lions as the 6th seed with 10 wins. In third place, your Minnesota Vikings, only 6 wins. And in fourth place, the Chicago Bears, only 4 wins. Now that I do think is low with Chicago. Yeah. I do think that Caleb is going to be better this year. But I also think that the struggles in the pocket in terms of, hey, if it's not open and he freaks out a little bit, that's the thing that worries me about him more than anything. If he cleans that up, it's a dangerous team. It's a dangerous team if he's able to play on time and he's able to relax a little bit more. But that is not something that you can just sort of learn instantly. That takes some time. He can prove me wrong, though. So that's where that's at. The NFC South, K-Dot.
One more thing on the NFC North. The only team I didn't explain is what it is I thought about Detroit, because putting them at 8-9
the playoffs.
Yeah, I wanted to see where you had them before I said anything. Sure. I think this is the Jared Goff. We're worried about Jared Goff season. This is. I think the Ben Johnson Jared Goff thing worked great. it concerns me for Jared Goff that Ben Johnson's not there. Because I do think that as much as I don't love Ben Johnson as a head coach, there's no denying what it is he did as an offense coordinator. There's also no denying what he did for Jared Goff in particular. Remember, Sean McVay was over it.
Yeah.
And so, like, to me, the idea that Jared Goff could become what it was at one point, which everybody sort of cast him off until this guy named Ben Johnson and them meshed and had everything kind of running properly. I don't think it's a far removed to say that, like, even though I think defensively with Aiden Hutchinson coming back, they're going to be in a better position. I do think that there are going to be some worries about Jared Goff going in overall the course of the season. I don't think people are talking about that part of it. I think people are looking as far as the offense as a whole. And saying, oh, they maybe not. I'm specifically looking at Jared Goff.
That's fair. For me, a lot of this was, one, their culture. I absolutely love it. Two, I think that, they do Montgomery Gibbs. I think they just lean fully into Jahmyr Gibbs. And now it's like, do we have the best running back in the NFL? Like, even with Saquon over there in Philly, like, the guy is special. And so I think that identity, toughness. What'd you say?
I think it'd be a mistake. I think that what makes Gibbs special is the fact that he does have the light wear. Like, I think that. So, like, I do think that's my thing. I think Detroit right now is going to try to be figuring themselves out on the fly.
Okay.
And they don't have a guy who knows the players in that offense as well as Ben Johnson right now.
Of course. And that's to be expected. I do
love their culture, though. I'm 100% with you. And I think my thing is the defense. Like, to me, is like that's why I think that the Jared Goff thing is going to be the big circle thing, because I think the defense is
going to be nice. Yeah. Although they lost Aaron Glenn as well. Now we go to the NFC South. K-Dot over to you, Tampa Bay. Sorry, quick intro on them. Tampa Bay wins the division last year, loses to us. Awesome experience. The Atlanta Falcons had Kirk Cousins, still have Kirk Cousins, and now Michael Penix is starting. Bryce Young. Year 2 of Dave Canales, my side piece team from last season. How will they do? And the New Orleans Saints, nothing more to add. Go ahead.
Your number 2 seed in the NFC, going undefeated in the NFC South at a 13-4 record, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow.
7-10 for 2 teams, the Carolina Panthers and Atlanta Falcons. And I'm not as high on Penix as you are, and I do think that they are going to have a season where, as much as I like Raheem Morris, in my opinion, Bijan Robinson should be in the running for Offensive Player of the Year, and if he's not, they got problems. And I think that this could be a Penix throws a bunch of interception season. I know we're looking at, all right, what happens going back, because he did throw a lot of interceptions. And then the team that I hate more than any other team in the NFL at this particular point is the New Orleans Saints, going 2 years in a row at 4-13. I hate everything about this organization, about the team. I don't like anything that they have, and I have no faith in them whatsoever.
So they kept pushing the bill on their salary cap, and
Sean Payton left them.
Eventually, the bill was due. It's sort of like the housing market. Like, it finally burst, and they are in trouble for a while. So 4th place, without saying, New Orleans Saints, 2 wins. That's it. In 1st place, going back to the thing, 10 wins, the Atlanta Falcons. They win the division. They're tied with the 7 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who also have 10 wins over there. And then the Carolina Panthers in 3rd place at 7-10. So that's how mine stacks out. Any final thoughts here before we move to the West?
No, no.
Okay, cool. Let's move to the West, and I will also add, I think Penix is going to be awesome. A lot of it is predicated on that. I think it's going to be fantastic. It has to be. And that's with 10 wins, huh? I think he's going to be awesome. 10 wins. Okay. So we go over to the NFC West, where KDOT has, I want to say, the 6th seed available as well as the 4th seed. So go ahead. It's over to you.
Yep. 4th seed coming out and winning the division. Your Los Angeles Rams at 12-5.
Can't quit them.
No, I won't quit him, and I think this is I think that team's just good, and I believe in Matt Stafford, and I think that he still has some left in the tank. And that wide receiving core, look, Puka Nacua is the truth, and I won't listen to anything other than that. And Kyron Williams is one of the most underrated players in my opinion in the NFL. He just doesn't get the respect that he deserves out of what he's doing. Your 6th seed coming out of the NFC West, I have the San Francisco 49ers at 9-8. I think that right now, I think on like FanDuel, any of the books they have, they're like, I think it's a 10.5, 11 wins, or maybe an 11.5 wins. I think everybody's thinking because of how injured they were last year, there's going to be the move back.
And the softest schedule in the NFL.
There's also that, which is when you look through the schedule, you're like, oh, wow, this has got to be a win here. It's got to be a win here. I think they lost some guys. And I don't think that's being talked about a lot. And the dudes that they do have, be it like Trent Williams and stuff, they are getting old. Like, I'm not going to put CMC in that category, and actually think CMC could put together a pretty good season. I don't expect him to be hurt like that 2 years in a row. But I think the Debo gone. I think the Ayuk situation, I think that they are in a situation where they'll be able to scrape it together because of that schedule, and they will make the playoffs. But I don't feel good about anything that they've got going at this particular point in time. I just think this is one of those years that, like, what's going on? Yep. At 6-11, I've got the Arizona Cardinals. Okay. And at 5-12, I've got the Seattle Seahawks. I love you, Sam Darnold, but it all comes crashing and burning. You had a great run.
There you go. All right. So over here, my 3 seed, 11 wins, Arizona Cardinals. I do think that this is the year that their defense takes a step forward. They've invested a lot on the defensive side. Jonathan Gannon, defensive minded. He's like, you know what? First couple of years, it's not been what my vision is. Screw it. I'm going with my vision. And I think it's going to look quite nice. Year 2 of Marvin Harrison, who KDOT wanted us to draft at 2 overall as the bust-proof guy. And he's going to end up at one point, I think. That was very, very early on. I was just teasing you for it. Not actually what you thought.
I was going to say that. I don't think I thought that.
It was when we were first talking about Jaden. You're like, well, the guy that we should really get, who's the foolproof, Marvin Harrison Jr. We'll just take him. We'll be fine there. But immediately, like a week later, you're like, we're not doing that. But I had to catch you for the very first one. I do think year 2 Marvin Harrison Jr. is a good Marvin Harrison. And I think that just makes Kyler's life easier in the same way that Terry is able to make those contested catches for Jaden in tough spots. I think Marvin's going to be able to do something similar for Kyler. So I've got them at 11-6 winning the division. And in second place, but missing the playoffs on tiebreakers with both the Bucs and Lions, is the San Francisco 49ers, who I am high on this year. I think that they will, because of that soft schedule and having some guys back, be able to win some games, but they lose the ones that truly matter, and it puts them out of the playoffs with the tiebreakers. Third place, the Los Angeles Rams at 8 wins, and the only reason is because I'm worried about Matthew Stafford. So I think his back is fine right now, but time and time again, I feel like there's been a very silent sort of dip. He's clutching the playoffs if he makes it there, but the regular season, I've seen them stumble a little bit. And if he gets hurt, Jimmy's throwing lollipops. Jimmy Garoppolo, I can't trust it if Matt misses time. So that's sort of baked in there. And in fourth place, same thought as UK. Like, I wish the best for Sam Darnold. I hope it works. It would be an awesome story for him to be able to just be awesome. But Seattle Seahawks at 7-10. That's where that's at. So recapping your NFC predictions here. The 1 seed Philadelphia Eagles, the 2 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the 3 seed Green Bay Packers, 4 seed Los Angeles Rams, 5 seed Washington Commanders, 6 seed San Francisco 49ers, 7 seed Minnesota Vikings.
That is correct.
All right. And with that, why don't you go ahead and walk through your wild card round?
In the wild card, I've got your Washington Commanders beating the Los Angeles Rams in LA.
Like that. Go ahead.
I've got the 3rd seed Green Bay Packers beating the 49ers at home. And I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking care of business against Minnesota, also at home. 2 seed beating 7.
Okay. So home teams, they don't sweep. Washington over LA. Green Bay and Tampa do win. All right. So now that sets up, I want to say, is that a Philly Washington rematch in Green Bay Tampa?
Philly Washington rematch in the divisional round this time.
All right. Go ahead.
Philadelphia Eagles beat the Washington Commanders. They still become the thing that we're chasing.
Okay. Which
is to try to be better than them. And our team is just not as good as theirs right now. But we have the guy. And it won't be because of Jaden that we lose.
Once again, it won't be because of Jaden. Jeez.
It'll never be because of Jaden.
Yeah.
And I also have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, your 2nd seed, beating the Green Bay Packers.
Okay. And now we have Philly hosting Tampa in the NFC Championship game.
Tampa Bay beats Philadelphia on the road to go to the Super Bowl.
Wow. Okay. So we have Tampa Bay versus Buffalo over there. We'll get that prediction in just a moment. Okay, Dot.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I was going to go back to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, fine. My NFC, I think this all went off the rails once I had worst of first Tennessee and you had Kansas City 7th seed. We're like, fuck it, just do what you want. So my NFC, I've got the Green Bay Packers as the 1 seed. The Commanders is the 2 seed with only 11 wins. The Cardinals is the 3 seed. The Atlanta Falcons is the 4 seed. Philadelphia Eagles is the 5 seed. 6 seed Detroit Lions, 7 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so in my wildcard round, the Washington Commanders, Tampa Bay Buccaneers rematch. I have the Commanders winning. Tampa Bay hates us. We continue that storied rivalry with them. Detroit and Arizona play against each other. Detroit knows what to do in the playoffs. They win on the road against the Arizona Cardinals, and the Eagles also win over the Atlanta Falcons, setting up Washington, Philly, and Detroit, Green Bay, which is going to be the big matchup there. Washington takes out Philly. This time we're at home, which I think makes a difference, and we get our lick back. Because if there's one thing we know about Jaden, he gets his lick back. And then Detroit goes to Green Bay and wins. So all the talk about Micah, the playoffs for Green Bay. Jordan Love was looking excellent 2 years ago. Detroit goes, nope, we're healthy this time. Last year was our year. This is for us. So sets up Washington, Detroit. Jaden special, man. I got Washington over Detroit, setting up a DMV Super Bowl.
I'm cursing now. Fuck you.
Hosted in the West Coast in San Francisco. So we got Washington, Baltimore on my end, and we got Tampa Bay, Buffalo on your end.
All right, motherfucker. Battle of the Beltways, huh, bitch?
Yeah, it's the Battle of the Beltway hosted in San Francisco. And I'm trying to get us media credentials.
Yeah, on this wet dream. Yeah, you broke me. I can't not curse at that.
You did great. You did great.
All right, so we're doing Super Bowl now?
Super Bowl. Who you got?
The Bills do it. They are your Super Bowl champs. It finally happens. Baker Mayfield is a dog in that game, and he does everything in his power to get them to win that game, but it is just not enough because the best quarterback in the National Football League, Josh Allen, is just unstoppable. He's rushing, he's helicoptering like John Elway. He is putting on a masterclass in my opinion. Everybody wants to talk about Taylor Swift. I'm about to talk about some Haley Steinfeld. All right, you get some of that in your life after Sinners. I'm just saying, your boy is coming to. I mean, more than one way. He is. He's the god now. It's now. Hey, Mahomes. He's arrived, sir. What you doing next year? What you doing next year?
All right. So Buffalo over Tampa Bay, presumably Super Bowl MVP Josh Allen. Over. Hey, Baker, great with his back against the wall. I could see that in the playoffs, man. He's a gamer. He is an absolute gamer. And by the way, the Washington Tampa thing for me in that wildcard round does worry me, but I do think we get it done with some of that corner depth that we have because they got Ibuka, they got Godwin, they got Evans, got Bucky Irving. But yeah,
that's the one.
He's scary.
That's the one.
He's nice. He's nice. Fortunately, we have Ale Kaho, baby. So we. Okay. So DMV Super Bowl, and Jaden gets his lick back, man. That's what he does. Lost to Baltimore last year, and this time, just based on how I feel about Jaden, year 2, Patrick Mahomes ends up being MVP, falls short, but it's his first year starting. His second year, he wins. I think Jaden's of that ilk. I've thought about that for some time. I felt that way for some time. I think Washington turns into a team where you just get them in the dance. It could be a 7 seed, similar to what you had. They're dangerous. But as the 2 seed, getting to host all 3 games because the 1 seed gets knocked out in the process. Yep. I think it happens. I think it happens because it's a new sort of level for Lamar where he's like, oh, I'm not sure. And we've seen Jaden. Every single time he experiences something new, he's cooler than the last game. So I got your Washington Commanders winning the Super Bowl. Jaden Daniels MVP. Super Bowl MVP. Super Bowl MVP. So I went ahead. I put it out there. I'm wearing the jersey. How could I not? And so with that, we go over to the awards. Unless you want to say something, Kate. Go ahead.
I just think that's so goddamn stupid.
Could be. Could be. You know what else is stupid? You know what else is stupid? That our quarterback had the greatest rookie season of all time. Led us to the NFC Championship game.
Okay, all right.
That's stupid.
Can I pause this? The supporting cast around Mahomes in Kansas City, would you take that over what it is to Jaden Daniels has here?
Right now?
Yeah.
Maybe.
When he won his first.
Oh, without question.
Right.
Yeah.
That to me factors in just a little bit.
Yeah, but Jaden's special.
I know. I'm not denying that. I'm just
First thing I said watching his film at LSU, I was like, Kate, I haven't seen this before.
What pick was Mahomes?
10.
Yeah, there's a world of difference between 10 and 2.
You're
just
right.
saying.
2 is better than 10, baby.
All right, brother.
That's
rock and roll, man. Do you think?
Rock and roll. All right, go ahead. K-Dot, we've got MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year. Go ahead.
Your pick for the National Football League's MVP is Josh Allen. In all the ways, the wife, the fact that he becomes the most legendary person in the history of the city of Buffalo. I just think he has everything that I've seen in this offseason when it seems Josh Allen. And I'm going back to last year, I have had this stepping stuff when it comes to Buffalo always finishing a little less than they did the previous year. I think Josh Allen I think he's turned into something that's a problem. And I think he's having fun on a level at which he hasn't, and he's not trying too hard. I don't think he has anything to prove to anybody at this point. And I think when he does that, I'm telling you, that frame with his abilities, he's a cheat code. He is a cheat code when he needs to be. I think when he gets his head on right, it works out. Offensive Player of the Year, I had this kind of a toss up between two players, but I guess I'm gonna run with it. I'm going AJ Brown for Philadelphia.
Okay.
I had it between AJ and Saquon. I just didn't want to give it to Saquon. While I still do think Saquon puts together a good season, I think Philadelphia is going to be a bit of a juggernaut. I just have them losing in the playoffs eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody kind of anoints them or crowns them at some point. And I actually think as much as the defense might take a bit of a step back this year, I think that's completely understandable. I can't see a way in which that offense takes a step back. And if they're asked to do more, they can do more. So that's just me. Defensive Player of the Year. Screw you, Jerry. Micah Parsons, Green Bay Packers. I think he gets a lot of sacks in that division. I think J.J. McCarthy is not a fan. I think that he's a problem. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Ashton Gentry for the Vegas Raiders. I just think that knowing Pete Carroll and what he's probably going to do with the football, I think the guy is going to be a bell cow, and I think what they're going to do is maybe not ask Geno Smith to do everything. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I think everybody kind of has an idea of who's yours. If I'm not going to say mine just yet.
You want me to say mine?
No, if you want to say yours,
yeah. Mine's Abdul Carter, and I don't think it's going to be particularly.
That's my thing. Is I don't think anybody has anybody different than Abdul Carter at this point. I was trying to see if anybody had something else that could jazz my mind to think of something else. I think Abdul Carter is just kind of a lock at this point for me. And I hate it.
He's really good. Watching the Penn State games also, he's got the Micah Parsons sort of vibe to him. He is maybe a bit meaner, honestly. I am worried about Abdul Carter being in our division.
Yeah. I don't like it. But that's the thing. I think that it's one of the I don't see anybody just on paper, at least right now. But hopefully it's Trey Amos. I mean, with what you see happening, it might be.
Yeah.
Is that anybody else we got a name?
Comeback Player of the Year?
I don't think I even put that there.
I got mine.
Yours, I'll come up with one.
Sure. Aiden Hutchinson, my Comeback Player of the Year. I think he's going to be absolutely fantastic to the point that he's in the Defensive Player of the Year running. But I don't see that ultimately. MVP, once again, my one seed in the AFC, Lamar on a mission. I know the media is kind of tired of giving it to him, and we saw that last year with Josh getting it when he won the other award, and that's typically an indicator of who wins. Lamar's going to make it undeniable this year that he wins, and it's a regular season award, so that's why it goes to Lamar Jackson. Defensive Player of the Year. This was tough for me. I was going a few different ways. Micah's like sort of the sexy one to me. It's like he just went to Green Bay. He's got a point to prove. He balls. I think Will Anderson Jr. gets it from Houston. I think he is a game wrecker. I think he has the opportunity to help the Houston Texans out a whole lot and has a spectacular year. So I go Will Anderson. Offensive Player of the Year. Part of my Detroit Lions thing was they lean on Jahmyr Gibbs. It is Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he is fabulous this coming season for them, as they do anything and everything they can to prove they're still that team. Jahmyr is a big part of that. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Cam Ward. Don't go worst to first and not win that award. I think he is changing the Tennessee Titans organization. Very similar reports to how people view Jaden in terms of he's the first one in the building. He's there at 5 a.m. He's able to talk shit and process the play call at the same time. Callahan couldn't believe it when he was like, wait, you heard all that? And he's like, yeah, like I'm just having relax, dude. What's the call? Like, so I think he's kind of like that. Abdul Carter and Aiden Hutchinson, as I had mentioned. So that rounds out my awards there, K-Dot.
Comeback Player of the Year. I'm going to go Nick Chubb.
I would love that. Love Nick Chubb. Absolutely.
I think Cleveland breaks people. I still love him as a back, even though I know the health has been an issue. And I think that there is room now with the Joe Mixon injury.
Yeah.
So
he may not play this year.
Right. So I think that leaves some room there. And I also think because of them losing Laramie Tunsil and other things that I don't think made that offensive line better than it was last year, I think they're probably still meandering. I think that's how they try to generate offense is through Nick Chubb, and he's going to get some carries and he's going to break a few things. I think Nick Chubb is one of those guys that if you're playing fantasy football, you might want to stash him. I might be, and the fact that I just said that might have jinxed everything.
Fair enough. And with that, we go over to probably an abbreviated. We will get through all the comments just to be clear, but maybe quicker with our reactions. Comment Mailbag featuring an intro from our very own Nikki.
Comment Mailbag time, motherfuckers. District divided, ain't got time for no suckers. Spread the word, get in line. OGs and new G's, it's your time. And spread the gospel, cause this shit is divine. Yeah.
Hey, thank you as always for that intro, Nikki. Beginning with Benjamin Cole, 250. Shout out. Yeah, K-Dot back with a new extension. Of course, he was missing for a couple episodes there, and presence was sorely missed, K-Dot. And so I was more than happy to announce your extension there in that last episode.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you didn't expect me because you human trafficked me across the country. I mean,
once again, that wasn't
luckily me. It wasn't sex trafficking. I stopped that from happening, but it was human trafficking.
Did you?
I'm not going to admit to anything else.
That's really fair. We go over to Big Javi.
What did you do to me?
I didn't do anything. We just had a night out. I didn't think you would show up.
I know you. The security camera footage shows you putting something in my drink. So
okay, nope, that was not me. Again, AI does crazy things.
Right.
Big Javi, who did immediately notice, goes pinche K-Dot. He said no cursing, and then seconds into the video, he's cussing up a storm. K-Dot also, just behind the curtain for a moment, texted me immediately as our episode released. We like to review our stuff also. It goes, well, actually, I blew it pretty early. K-Dot, your reaction.
I stood no chance. Like it's just like once again at the end of it, I know I broke the segment when you said your dumb shit earlier, but it was beyond that.
Nothing dumb about it. It's gonna happen,
dude. If you're right, you can sex traffic me. The if you're right, I'm willing to do anything. But
worried about cursing being the problem for ads.
I'm just whatever, man. Whatever needs to. If Jaden Daniels leads us to a Super Bowl this year, anything's possible. Okay, you do anything. Because what wouldn't I give to have that happen? Please review me, see if I did or how I did as far as the cursing. Because I think me and you are so used to it at this point that we're just
second nature. I didn't even hear it. Like I was so used to it. Like I was like, "Oh, you did it." I was like, "I broke you at the hour mark." That wasn't true.
My primary partner, she told me the other day, randomly after me and you had He's like, I'm starting to notice I'm cursing around a lot more people than I usually am. Like somebody point out I curse a lot. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry.
Which we go to Ivy all day. Wait, what happened to K-Dot? Which I think you had sort of alluded to. Now, granted, it wasn't true. The only thing that was true is we had a night out, and next thing you know, you found yourself on a plane. I didn't pay.
Look, all I know is that like when it comes down to certain situations, I know this is not necessarily Stockholm syndrome because I do think he's a villain, but there's like the greater good is for me to sacrifice sending him to prison for the betterment of this podcast and your guys' entertainment. So you just know what I'm sacrificing.
Yeah, and you will be able to tell just how much you're sacrificing when I had to ramble for about 3 minutes there when K-Dot was trying to figure out the audio. Yeah, A+ content. Fringe Photo goes, love this show, guys, especially today, with the reply from Jamal Bibi Charbonneau going, one of the best around with two of best hosts. We greatly appreciate that comment over there, Fringe Photo, and Jamal for shouting us out as great co-host, dude. That's awesome. We go over to... Well, we'll go to MF Quotes in a bit because he always has a nice little run of them. So we'll do that after. We go to Apollo Man V8. Long live River Craycraft. Unfortunately, he was cut almost as soon as he was signed. That's Pauly Polo over there. Shout out. Who's missing River Craycraft, who became an immediate favorite of his. K-Dot, your reaction.
There was not a wide receiver that did anything worth a damn this preseason. Like I thought it might be Gallup that got it because I liked a couple things that he did early on in the preseason, but
he was the first one that was cut.
I know. It was over. Like it got over real quick. So yeah, man. Luke McCaffrey, you know, I did talk to somebody after I'd had that episode where we talked about the Luke McCaffrey thing. Mm-hmm. There's more to it. Somebody step up.
Somebody please step up. Maybe it's Kendrick Bourne if we end up signing him. Pauly Polo also goes, Super Bowl, here we come. That's a shared belief between Amit and Pauly Polo over there. K-Dot, your reaction.
Oh, Pauly Polo, I think I talked to him briefly on IG. Oh, yeah. And I think I creepily said how much you thought of him, and I thought he was like a good guy, and then he hasn't replied to me.
Yeah. Oh, that's trademark. Yeah, that's fine. that's he. Did he reach out and then you replied and then nothing?
I think he followed. So I get a lot of follow requests, and I don't know until I like go and scroll through who's following me, and then I saw it, and I'm like, oh, so I followed him back and shot him a message. Or no, he shot me a message. He shot me a message, and I shot him back a message.
Okay, and then he didn't respond.
But yeah. I did. I was. I think it's the little bit of the Stockholm like victim thing where I was like defending you, or I had to like feel some sort of way in which I had to like big you up, even though it wasn't necessary. And it speaks to me and my own thing. And I'd probably talk to my therapist about it.
Okay, cool. Well, shout out. We will talk after.
Because you are a villain.
That sounds good. Right. We go to Big Papa Grizzly. Shout out. An investment in Terry is an investment in Jaden. Now we have to wait to see how the numbers actually play out, but I think it's going to be very incentive heavy. Big Papa, you absolutely nailed that. 2 thumbs up on that. K-Dot, your reaction.
I always thought that this was the place to go with it. It made the most sense. I really did think that level of disrespect was either that $35 million number or that Adam was coming with incentives. Like that was all that I was searching for, is like what that reasoning was. But I love it. I love how it happened. And once again, you're not going to hear anything from me that Terry's playing for the team, and also knowing that it fit within the confines of what it is that I think is acceptable from a year in value.
I truly think this was a home run on both sides.
Yeah,
like I think that as more details came out, I was like perfect from the team perspective, and as the initial details came out, I was like perfect from the Terry perspective.
Yeah,
and so we got him for the next 2 years, which is plenty. And if he declines, right, I don't think he will, but if he does, good job, team. You got the out if you absolutely need it. Right. So we will see how it plays out, like you said, Big Papa. The Hawk TV shout out. Oh. What up, DDVD? I was on the side of team move on from Terry. Mr. McLaurin, I'm glad you got your money. Both sides negotiated well, and glad they got this deal resolved. K-Dot, your reaction? I think we've sort of
like I've been saying from the very beginning, keep it medium. It all felt just like a contract negotiation, and that ended up being what it is. What is DDVD? Dish divided venereal disease?
That was my first guess. And then my second guess was something worse. And so I was just like,
you know what happens when you go out drinking with A-Train? You pick up a DDVD.
Actually, that was so funny. I'm just going to let that one go. We go to Vindo. Shout out OG. Yes, understanding our team with JD5 is a 20 nightmare we just experienced. Let's not take for granted what he has done. Having him as a leader, however, is a whole different ballgame that will be tested this season. Get out your reaction.
I think he's always being tested in that way. I mean, like, I think that, like, what I've talked about as far as, like, the Terry piece and with him stepping up in certain ways or everything, I don't think that stops. I think he's got to continue to prove that. I think he does, and I do actually think that he's done a good job this offseason doing so.
This is a great comment from Jabal Bishar week coming up. I don't think we can duplicate the level of excitement we experienced last year. Our expectations are so high this year, going into every game expecting to win big. Every loss may look like a disaster. To preempt those feelings, I'm going to take a deep breath and predict an 0-6 start with an 11-0 finish. Feeling a lot better now.
Y'all are so extreme.
0-6 would be nuts.
You Super Bowl him 0-16. Why?
It's to protect the field.
But I'm protecting the feeling, and I think I have a realistic expectation where the team is. And if they fall a few games short of that, I understand. If they fall a few games above that, I'm happy. Like I think that the zone that I'm in right now, based on what it is I've seen from this team so far, based on how good things were from an injury standpoint last year, based on how much people did not have tape on Jaden Daniels, and that schedule and the quarterbacks we played compared to this season, I think this falls right in line. And I think that everyone going into this year, it is vital to, in my opinion, don't listen to Amit, but temper your expectations.
You know what? You know what? This is why you guys should listen to me. Because I was swinging an absolutely hot bat last offseason, right? Offseason is where I live, right? I'm used to it. Teams may be used to it. Think about it. Jaden Daniels, pick 2 overall. You have to do it. This guy's the chosen one. Oh, my God. Okay, so we've done that. Then we had the entire, let's look at the NFL landscape. What's our ceiling going to be? Oh, NFC Championship game. Well, guess what? We just did that. Okay. And here I am in the offseason with just one more gem for you guys, which is that, you know what? Kid's so special. We hit our ceiling last year. Now we're bringing in better pieces around him. Why not? Why not follow that Mahomes trajectory? Second-year starter. You win the Super Bowl. I don't know. Just a thought.
Here's what I'm going to do. When I get back, because I'm in a state in which I can't bet on anything, which is very frustrating in these days leading up to stuff.
Which is why I would never send you there. Love you, buddy.
I don't think you were right sound mind, but that's still not an excuse. I'm going to place $100 bet on the Commanders winning the Super Bowl. Just to do it. I'd love to have it, and it's something I'm rooting for. I have a rooting interest in this winning the Super Bowl. I just think that I'm going to be lighting $100 on fire.
You get 20-1 odds on it.
I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
We go over to Nelson Wolf. Shout out, old college buddy of mine. Oh my goodness, with the eyes emoji. Something we would say a whole lot to one another, just getting hype for a day, hype for a game. Shout out Nelson Wolf. Also got engaged recently. Shout out, players only, baby. He's actually joined us. He did us a solid by joining us during the draft special we did last year. He's the Vikings guy. And so, yeah, shout out Nelson. Love you, buddy, and congrats again. K-Dot, your reaction.
Sorry, I completely blanked.
Cool. You go over to MF Quotes. Shout out. Amit is happy Ash. And listen, yes, because all I wanted more than anything, year 2 of Jaden Daniels, keep stuff as consistent as possible with that contract extension. That has happened. So now I am very, very happy. So that's one comment. We then go over to MF Quotes with this one. K-Dot, you're being a Debbie Downer. I need more enthusiasm next episode. Be like Amit. We just signed our homegrown guy, and now the hunt for the Super Bowl is on. K-Dot, that one's clearly for you. Your reaction.
No.
All right. We go to MF Quotes again. Great episode. And K-Dot's so close to not cursing for a whole episode. Share this shit. Not quite there. And also, tuned MF Quotes ears to not hear the stuff either, because I also didn't hear it at the beginning. K-Dot, your reaction to that?
Yeah, y'all will become indoctrinated. I appreciate it. I guess to some degree. But yeah, I'm trying to hold myself to a higher standard. Plus, apparently, according to the YouTube algorithm, it'll help us out.
Yeah. And we go to MF Quotes again with, I think the yards standpoint is overrated. I care more about first downs and touchdown rate. If Terry is a consistent 1K and double-digit touchdowns, that's fine. 2 thumbs up on that. K-Dot, your reaction.
I'm glad Terry's here.
Glad Terry's here, and I think based on the description here, this sounds a lot of like your Debo commentary, which is like, hey, I don't know about the yards, I don't know about the catches, I don't know about the rushes. What I do know is that it's going to be impactful when he touches the ball, and so that's what it's sounding like to me.
That's all that it comes down to, is that the team is better with him because he adds a special element that nobody else has on the team that we can actually say is provable that they have, and we have somebody who has this connection with Jaden the way that he does. The team is better, and we are all better for having him here. No expectations from it.
Fair. MF Quotes goes, but we are not like the Bengals, though, K-Dot. Jaden is still on our rookie contract, and by that time, we will have 2 more drafts, which will help fill out the roster more. So I wouldn't be mad at paying Debo and Terry if they are producing. Right. So
I get the sentiment. I say, like, I understand it, and like, of course, it could make sense. But like, if the Debo contract is in any way, shape, or form kind of tied like this one is, which is another thing that I think is being underrated in this particular thing, is they set the right precedent when it comes to what Debo Samuel might ask for if he does have a major season, which is an incentive-based extension or contract that gives them some opt-out opportunities. So I think that gives them some flexibility as far as that. And as long as there are good exit ramps, then I'm all for it.
We conclude with Jess Anto, and actually a quick touch on that. I still think paying Debo and Terry insane money would be a mistake, but we're not paying Terry insane money, right? And so that's what makes it doable, and that's why it was really nice that the team came out with the, frankly, team-friendly deal that it is. Front-load it, and then gives you flexibility for the future. So now you can actually do this with Debo and point to Terry's contract. That was the ghost negotiation we talked about. So I think that went quite well. And we conclude with Jess Santa. Best week ever. Terry extended and Parsons is gone, baby gone. I knew the entire time Terry wasn't going anywhere. There's way too much love between him and the organization. On the other hand, Jerry Jones made an absolute mess of the Parsons extension. From putting his foot in his mouth at pressers, talking shit on Parsons' agent, and then disrespecting Parsons throughout the clown show. We as Commanders fans need to sit back and appreciate how far we have come since Sneedley Snodgrass sold the team. We literally were the clown show for 20 years that the Cowboys and Bengals have become. The front office is beginning to look elite, from the stealth maneuvers to the steadfast, we are who we are mindset. We also need to acknowledge how well Quinn handled the Terry situation at the weekly press conferences. The way he bullshitted and portrayed the leg injury was a masterclass. This man is frighteningly intelligent and has a sense of awareness and forward thinking that very few coaches have. He's a tactician and he's our leader. Loved Amit's take on Rodriguez. He does have some fumbling concerns, but he has been busting his ass to get the green light. I think the defense is going to be light years ahead from where they were last year. I've been pulling for Kinlaw since they signed him. He has the potential to be a game wrecker, and the DBs are vastly improved. Long live Jerry Dick Lookin' Jones. May he forever do dumb shit. Share this shit. Okay, not your reaction.
No notes, man. Jess always come with fire. Love it.
Absolutely incredible. Appreciate the love on the Rodriguez take. I do think he has a point to prove. He's earned it. I think he's going to have a nice year as I'm projecting to lead back because there is also the element of, Bill didn't play in the final preseason game. That must mean he's the starter. Well, then if you remember to practice, he was a bit banged up. And so they were just like, hey, if this were an actual game, he would play, but it's preseason. So let's see Rod do his thing. Once again, he showed out again. That was probably the only bright spot, really. Him and Ale Kaho were like the only bright spots in that game. And that was that. So that was the common mailbag. And this was the show. This was District Divided, a DC Sports podcast. More specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Amit. That is K-Dot. And if you enjoyed today's episode where we went through the 53-man roster, touched on Terry McLaurin, I monologued for a little bit on Matt Gay, and all the predictions. If you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and K-Dot.
All right, everybody, you ready to say it with me? No, you're going to finish the statement for me. Call and response, all right? Share this
shit.
There you go, everybody. Yell it, scream it, and don't slip drugs into your friend's drink.
I didn't do that.
It's not an okay thing to do, and it is not.
Nope.
No Diddy over.
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.